examining the pros and cons of $69 installation deals from the perspective of both homeowners and contractors. From the homeowner's point of view, there are several potential advantages. Firstly, the low cost of $69 for labor-only installation is a relatively low price, especially if it includes the removal of the old fixture. Secondly, the convenience for homeowners can be realized because they can easily book an installation appointment through the store, saving them time and hassle. Thirdly, the installers are typically trained and experienced in installing these types of items, ensuring a professional and safe installation. However, there are also potential disadvantages for homeowners to consider. Firstly, the materials are not included. The $69 price only covers labor, so materials such as the ceiling fan itself, electrical wiring, and mounting hardware must be purchased separately. Secondly, there is a limited scope. The offer is only valid for certain items such as the ceiling fan, air conditioner, storm door, or garage door opener, and specific types of installations. Thirdly, there may be potential hidden costs. While materials not included are mentioned in the circular, there may be other hidden costs or surcharges to consider, such as travel fees or additional labor for complex installations. Now let's consider the perspective of contractors. Several factors should be taken into account before accepting these jobs. Firstly, time constraints must be considered. If the contractor has to provide materials, source the fan, and complete the installation within the $69 cost, it may be difficult to make a profit. Secondly, volume matters. To make it worthwhile, contractors would need to receive a significant number of installations to cover their costs and make a reasonable profit. Thirdly, competition plays a factor. Large corporations that have established relationships with contractors already exist, so it may be challenging for smaller contractors to compete for these jobs. In conclusion, while the $69 installation offer may seem enticing for basic installations, contractors should carefully consider the potential costs and limitations before taking on these jobs. It is important to have a clear understanding of the scope of work, materials required, and potential hidden costs to determine if the offer is financially viable. It's also worth noting that the specifics of these installation deals can vary. For example, the offer might explicitly state that it covers labor only, with materials extra. The complexity of the installation will significantly impact its profitability. Replacing an old ceiling fan with a new one is generally straightforward, but installing a new fan where no fixture existed before requires additional electrical work. Electricians must adhere to the National Electrical Code, or NEC, which sets standards for safe electrical installations. For example, NEC Section 314.27 addresses outlet boxes designed for the support of ceiling fans and luminaires. It specifies the maximum weight a box can support, as well as the requirements for proper mounting and securing the fan to the box. In residential wiring, the most common conductors are non-metallic sheath cables, often referred to as NMB cable. The size of the conductors required for a ceiling fan circuit will depend on the ampacity of the fan motor. NEC Table 310.15b16 provides guidance on the allowable ampacities of insulated conductors. For lighting circuits, 14 American wire gauge, or AUG, conductors are commonly used, but 12 AWG might be necessary for heavier loads or longer runs. The voltage drop in a circuit is another crucial consideration. Excessive voltage drop can cause the fan motor to run inefficiently or even damage it. The recommended voltage drop is typically no more than 3%. For a 120-volt circuit, this means the voltage at the fan should not drop below 116.4 volts. To calculate the voltage drop, you need to know the length of the wire run, the conductor size, and the current draw of the fan. Online voltage drop calculators can simplify this process. When working with electrical wiring, safety is paramount. Always turn off the power at the circuit breaker before starting any work. Use a non-contact voltage tester to verify that the circuit is de-energized. Wear appropriate personal protective equipment, or PPE, such as insulated gloves and safety glasses. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, it is best to hire a qualified electrician. They have the knowledge and experience to perform the work safely and in accordance with the NEC. The cost of materials for a ceiling fan installation can vary depending on the type of fan, the length of wiring required, and the type of mounting hardware needed. A basic ceiling fan can cost anywhere from $50 to $200, while more elaborate models with features like remote control or integrated lighting can cost significantly more. Electrical wiring typically costs around 50 cents to $1 per foot, depending on the gauge and type of cable. Mounting hardware, such as outlet boxes and screws, usually costs less than $10. In addition to the cost of materials, contractors also need to factor in their overhead expenses such as insurance, vehicle maintenance, and marketing costs. These expenses can significantly impact their profitability. To make a $69 installation worthwhile, contractors need to be highly efficient and minimize their expenses. This might involve purchasing materials in bulk, optimizing their travel routes, and streamlining their installation process. They also need to be able to quickly assess the complexity of the installation and identify any potential hidden costs before starting the work. This will help them avoid surprises and ensure that they can complete the job profitably. The $69 installation offer may be a good option for simple replacements where the existing wiring and mounting hardware are in good condition. However, for more complex installations, it is important to carefully consider the potential costs and limitations before taking on the job. By doing their homework and understanding the intricacies of the electrical code, contractors can make informed decisions and avoid getting burned. When removing an old ceiling fan, it is important to carefully disconnect the wiring and properly dispose of the old fixture. Many communities have recycling programs for electronic waste, which may accept old ceiling fans. It is also important to cap off any exposed wires with wire connectors to prevent electrical shock. When installing a new ceiling fan, be sure to follow the manufacturer's instructions carefully. This will help ensure that the fan is properly installed and operates safely. It is also important to check the fan's balance and make any necessary adjustments to prevent wobbling. A wobbly ceiling fan can be annoying and can also put stress on the mounting hardware. In some cases, it may be necessary to reinforce the ceiling joist to provide additional support for the fan. This is especially important for heavier fans or fans that are installed in older homes. The NEC requires that ceiling fans be supported by an outlet box that is specifically designed for that purpose. These boxes are typically rated to support a minimum weight of 35 pounds. If you are installing a fan that weighs more than this, you will need to use a heavier duty box. It is also important to ensure that the box is securely attached to the ceiling joist. This can be done using screws or nails. If the joist is not strong enough to support the fan, you may need to install a bracing system. This system will distribute the weight of the fan over a larger area and prevent the joist from sagging. When choosing a ceiling fan, it is important to consider the size of the room. A larger room will require a larger fan to circulate the air effectively. You should also consider the height of the ceiling. If the ceiling is low, you will need to choose a fan that is designed for low ceilings. These fans typically have shorter blades and a lower profile. Another factor to consider is the fan's energy efficiency. Look for fans that are Energy Star certified. These fans are designed to use less energy than standard fans. They also typically have features like dimmable lights and variable speed controls. The number of blades on a ceiling fan can also affect its performance. Fans with more blades tend to move air more quietly, while fans with fewer blades tend to move air more efficiently. The pitch of the blades also affects the fan's performance. Blades with a steeper pitch will move more air, but they will also create more noise. The direction that the fan blades rotate can also affect the comfort level in the room. In summer, the blades should rotate counterclockwise to create a downdraft. This will help to cool the room by circulating the air. In the winter, the blade should rotate clockwise to create an updraft. This will help to distribute the warm air that rises to the ceiling. The type of motor used in a ceiling fan can also affect its performance and energy efficiency. There are two main types of motors, AC motors and DC motors. AC motors are less expensive, but they are also less energy efficient. DC motors are more expensive, but they are also more energy efficient and quieter. Some ceiling fans also have features like remote controls, timers, and light kits. Remote controls allow you to adjust the fan's speed and turn the light on and off from anywhere in the room. Timers allow you to set the fan to turn on and off automatically. Light kits provide additional lighting in the room. When installing a ceiling fan light kit, it is important to use the correct type of light bulbs. Using the wrong type of bulbs can damage the light kit or create a fire hazard. It is also important to make sure that the light kit is properly grounded. This will help to prevent electrical shock. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, it is best to hire a qualified electrician to install the light kit. The cost of hiring an electrician to install a ceiling fan can vary depending on the complexity of the installation. A simple replacement may cost around $100 to $200, while a more complex installation may cost several $100s. It is important to get a quote from several electricians before hiring one. Be sure to ask about their experience, qualifications, and insurance coverage. It is also important to check their references. A good electrician will be able to answer your questions and provide you with a detailed estimate of the cost of the job. When choosing an electrician, it is important to choose one who is licensed and insured. This will protect you in case of any accidents or damages. It is also important to choose an electrician who is familiar with the NEC. This will ensure that the work is done safely and in accordance with the code. The NEC is updated every 3 years, so it is important to choose an electrician who stays up to date on the latest changes. The NEC is a complex document, but it is essential for ensuring the safety of electrical installations. If you are not familiar with the NEC, it is best to consult with a qualified electrician before starting any electrical work. Even simple tasks like replacing a light fixture can be dangerous if not done properly. Electricity is a powerful force, and it should be treated with respect. Always turn off the power at the circuit breaker before starting any electrical work. Use a non-contact voltage tester to verify that the circuit is de-energized. Wear appropriate PPE such as insulated gloves and safety glasses. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, it is best to hire a qualified electrician. They have the knowledge and experience to perform the work safely and in accordance with the NEC. Remember, when considering a $69 installation deal, assess all factors involved and prioritize safety.